Alright. I guess I'll start recording too. Alright.
Okay.
I'm recording.
So let's just do this now that you're recording. So we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. Take it off whenever you want. That sounds wrong.
I'm taking it off right now.
you do the entire podcast just butt-ass naked.
You tell me you don't?
I recorded episode 2 in my underwear and a t-shirt.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Middleton Nytetime broadcast, episode 5, Gaming, Consoles, and Us, and we are butt naked recording this podcast. Today I have with me my special co-host. You may know him, you may love him, you may hate him, Jake from Mega Fracture Games.
Thank God you didn't say from State Farm. I was going to shoot myself.
From State Farm, wearing the khakis. Well, that's a lie because you're naked. We're going with that theme, I guess. We should use that as a cold open. That's what I'm gonna do.
Maybe that's why we're always just arms. It's just arms, and then just.
Oh, we're bottomless. Gotcha. Okay. Well,
this is gonna get flagged.
Oh, for sure. But besides being bottomless, how have we been? Any updates? Anything we want to bring up before we jump into it?
Yes, I forgot that we have to do the icebreaker.
Yeah, icebreaker. Come on.
Well, I can say this. Well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll make this the icebreaker. Screw it.
What?
Ricky and I recorded episode 5 already. And
Holy shit.
And I had a corrupted file. And we lost episode 5. Now, here's the thing.
Gone.
We're probably going to do the topic again next season.
We didn't want to repeat it so soon. It was literally a 2-hour call. I was high as a kite, probably more so than I should have been. Because I didn't even remember any of that happening until you just mentioned that.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a good thing it got lost. I feel like we went on a tangent. I was too high. I'm here. I'm focused.
I think the episode was good.
Oh, I still wish we dropped it.
I don't know. I love that episode. And for anyone who wants to know, the episode was titled basically Living in the 2000s. Personifying that, though, was the hardest thing to possibly do. And even now, I feel like if we were to have done that episode again, it would have been a completely different episode. But,
Most definitely.
Besides that, I'm now really, really, really comfortable at my job. I know that's been a developing topic as we
yes
have gone on. And next month, I am set to shadow 2 people. Like they're supposed to shadow me to help, so I can help them figure out how to build quotes.
Oh, okay. They're shadowing you, or you're shadowing?
Yeah,
me?
They're shadowing me. So I'll make.
Look at you.
They'll watch me. I build the quotes, and they get to ask questions. But yeah, besides that, there hasn't been too much. I guess technically now it's been 2 weeks since the last episode that you guys get to watch. And
I think at the deleted episode I mentioned I had dental work getting done. But by the time that one got canceled and we recorded this one, it's already been done. It went well. So
yeah.
There you go.
And I guess I do want to kind of say this again. So, for anyone who doesn't know, by the way, we're pretty much doing the Middleton Nighttime broadcast first, and then Ricky does his gaming streams on his YouTube channel pretty much after it.
Yeah, it's been working out pretty well.
Yeah, and sadly, I didn't get to show up on his last one. I was there for a whole...
You were there for 3 seconds until you got struck by lightning.
No, it wasn't lightning. Remember, it was it was the kids playing with the electrical box.
I had to be dramatic.
You're lying.
That's why Ryan has blue hair now. Yes, I'm lying. For entertainment, so it's okay. Some punk kids were in your town, right? What were they doing?
So, with those green electrical boxes that basically feed electricity and everything to a subdivision, this is highly dangerous. Do not do this. They had jaws of life that they cut the chain off of the box.
The kids?
Yeah. Opened it up.
What?
And then started pulling wires out and putting them back in.
How does one obtain A Jaws of Life.
Found out the kid's father was a firefighter.
Hey, dude, I got this Jaws of Life sitting in my dad's closet. Let's use it and fuck around with the electrical current over here. I'm plugging it like Homer Simpson. Jeez.
If they did something wrong, though, those boxes got enough juice to fry you like a chicken nugget.
Oh, yeah. Instant death.
So, besides that, there hasn't been too many developments. Other than, like, I hung out with my my close friend Abby today. And, I won't say this, but I do want to be a little bit cheeky. I've essentially stolen Ricky as the main, like, host and co-host of the podcast, which, once I start shutting up, Ricky is actually the main person for this. Ricky came up with the topic.
Yes.
And I've wanted him to feel more a part of this podcast rather than me opening up every single episode. So who knows?
I thank you. I think what you're trying to word is I'm always the co-host. I'm always the person tagging along. I'm there for the ride. And, you know, this is a joint effort. This is the Middleton Nighttime broadcast created by Jake. And, well, I guess originally I was just a guest, but now I guess I'm a part of this train wreck. So we're going to crash together.
The fuck train got no brakes.
Just a squelching of the wheels.
So do you have any updates that you want to talk about? Like, more in
other
depth?
than the teeth, I mean, what really happened? I have sores on my tongue. Is that something people want to hear about? Probably not.
I mean,
no.
You know what's always been wondering to me, though, is...
From the dental appointment, I should add. Yeah.
I think probably, and this is because I think I've noticed this with you, but more basically, end of 2021 into this year, I think you get sick a lot when you're stressed.
I do. I definitely do. I think I worry so much that I get myself like a 3-day cold half the time.
The dreaded 3-day cold where it's like the first day it's like rising, you have your peak day, and then the day it dies,
your face feels flushed.
But
like warm and cold. Ugh.
I am good. Here's the thing. I can be sick. But if my throat feels like it's sandpaper, I'm decommissioned, out. I can't.
Oh yeah,
I can't live. So yeah. I mean, other than that, yeah, I think you've been basically doing small projects, relaxing, which has been so nice to hear.
Oh shoot! Speaking of small projects, I do have something to announce. Holy crap!
Oh.
2 days ago, from now. September 3rd. Ooh, spoiler. I released a single. I probably should promote that. Wow. Noise.
I'll flash it up on screen. Air horns.
Stinkfox.bandcamp.com. It is probably, by the time this comes out, still the newest song. It's Noise. It's only $1. And when you buy this song, you can use it on any project you want. All I want is a little thing in the description saying, hey, I used your song. That's it. Feel free. Use it in your streams. Do whatever the heck you want with it. It's yours.
It's like, it would just be like, this song, copyright, and then just Stank Fox.
You can link my Twitter for all I fucking care. As long as somehow someone could find me. I'm good. I'm nice like that.
Oh,
I feel like, especially today's climate, it's hard to find like good royalty-free music. You know what I mean?
And if it's royalty free, it's not really royalty free because there's a license to it somewhere.
And eventually those licenses, like some of the YouTube music library, like a year from now, they'll just be copyrighted and you're like, wait, what? That was copyright free. Well, they decided not to anymore. They took it out of the public domain royalty free area and decided to make money off of it.
They would do that. That's why eventually I'm just going to have you make some music for this and it's like, eat shit shitties.
We'll get there.
But I guess, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say for the icebreaker. I don't think so. Just slowly making my art come back after dealing with art block for like almost 3 weeks. Yeah.
Good for you.
It's been hard.
I remember, I was about to say for a while there you were stumped. I remember you coming to me being like, dude, I don't even know what to draw.
I don't, and half the time most of these ideas are coming from friends. The tattoo picture that's at this time of this recording is the newest picture.
Which is a great one.
It
definitely look at it in a locked door like room, because you might instantly you might start feeling some feelings if you start looking at this in public, which you shouldn't.
The things might start tingling.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a little PC about that, because I've already swore like a sailor probably 18 times by now.
You know what's funny? I actually have someone was like, "Are you gonna just put the bleep sound effect in your thing?" So I was like, "No, I just like to take the audio and just cut, and yeah."
So I was at the
yeah, exactly. But it was
talking to the
one of my friends though was happy because they were like, "Oh my god, you made it a Snapchat type of picture."
I love that part of it. It just feels real. Like, hey, what's up? After a party, maybe the party's still going on, ducked out to the bathroom or something.
Well, the whole idea of this picture was inspired by a song that I found recently. That's actually on the picture. It's called "Heartbeat" by Bad Computer, and I felt like, you ever know those scenes in a movie where like a couple goes into like the back room at a club and you can sort of muffly hear the bass and the music and everything? It's that feeling. But it's, in this case, it's Ryan in his bedroom while everyone else is still like out in the main part of the house, like playing friggin' Just Dance or whatever. But yeah, I wanted a calm nighttime picture, and it's my wallpaper on my computer right now. Everything's like dark blue and purple, so it's nice.
I think mine is still a Studio Ghibli screenshot from Spirited Away with all the houses.
God,
it's a good movie.
Oh, Studio Ghibli movies are good. Just some of them, watch with some trepidation. Some Studio Ghibli movies are extremely sad.
Yeah. Well, speaking of sad and depressing, is there any consoles in your childhood that shaped you?
Well, I mean,
just gotta jump right into that.
I mean, I guess I'll say this. For anyone who wants to know, yes, I am a Sony fanboy.
Sony.
So I played on PlayStation 1, vaguely. PlayStation 2 for pretty much all my childhood up till 2007 or 8 when I got a PlayStation 3. So, you know what I'm going to say? I think, if you'll allow me to make this my answer.
Go for it.
Late PlayStation 2 and early PlayStation 3 shaped me as a gamer. And shaped me as a person.
I would, obviously I'm an older kind of guy, older gen, but I would agree. My answer too, ironically, I played a lot of, Star Wars Battlefront, a lot of Grand Theft Auto, who didn't, my age, but you had the quirky PS2 games, like I had a game where you can make music. That was the whole game. You just made a song. Good luck actually sharing that with anyone, because all you have is a memory card, but you could do it. And I love that about the PS2. PS3 was more so the mature, movie-like games, rich storytelling, stuff like that, but I do look fondly over PS2. Obviously, I like a lot of consoles, but those, yeah, I agree. PS3 and PS2 definitely stand up there. Heck, both of them could play, DVD, and PS3 played Blu-ray, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, here's the thing, by the way, that I want to say for the, sorry, ADHD brain is thinking faster than I can speak. We talked about this, by the way, over Telegram. I've been seeing this trend that a lot of people were talking about, how that era of gaming was the most experimental time in gaming ever. You had like karma systems.
Yes.
You had like loyalty stuff with some characters. You had like route games, like the God, what's the company? What was the company that made like
Telltale?
Yeah.
I love Telltale.
You also had.
Holy shit, I miss them.
I also miss
The
like
Strong Bads games and the Sam and Max games. Two hands down favorite. Also what? Sorry.
you also had QuickTime events in games a lot.
Yeah, that's when they were new.
QTEs, all the stuff. So that time in gaming was awesome, and I
Would
think
you say that some of those consoles hold up today? Or they're all kind of just in the past?
no, I think every console that has come before another had to crawl so the other one could run. I think.
Oh, definitely.
And here's the thing. Do I think Xbox and PlayStation have made monumental leaps in their own bounds? Yes. But I'll say this. Nintendo has done some stuff that I don't think Sony or Microsoft have ever touched, because you had the GameCube. And I'm saying, like, just from present stuff. You had the GameCube, which competed with the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox 360.
Right.
You had the then it's like, and I say that because the 360 kind of and the GameCube were out towards the, you know, the later half of things. Then you had the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and you had also the Wii that came out. So the Wii was competing along with Xbox and PlayStation for, you know, that wireless, interactive.
Well, I think the Wii... I'd argue the Wii wasn't competing with anyone. I think the Wii was doing its own thing, and then Sony and Xbox kind of laughed at him, and then saw how much the Wii was selling and said, well, shit, we need motion controls too.
And I mean, PlayStation 4 kind of has that, because
The freaking Nintendo had that. I don't know if you know this. Obviously, you're younger, but you're not a freaking nerd like me that researches old-ass consoles, but the NES had a glove, and it was very shoddy at best, but it experimented with motion controls using the lights from like a remote.
Oh.
They would flash and hit the glove and simulate motion. So when you move your arm left and right, it would kind of track it. You know, it was very primitive, but they were working on this shit since the 80s to get the Wii to the state that it was, you know, when it came out.
Yeah.
I'd argue that's why the Wii U kind of suffered a bit, because like they didn't really know where to go from there. But
well, no,
Switch is doing well.
Well, no, I think they knew what they were doing when they were going for the Wii U.
Yeah, but it was like bad marketing, because even back then I thought, oh, you could just pick it up and walk away with your game, right? And it's like, no, it's just a second screen.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've told everyone this. The Wii U had to be made so that the Switch could happen.
I mean, that's true, because now they know the demand for that kind of console, you know?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Is the Switch like the most revolutionary thing? No, there's things you sacrifice when the Switch becomes your main thing. Like, are you going to get the best graphics? Are you going to get 60 FPS? Are you going to all this stuff? Maybe. Is it going to be a solid 60 FPS? No. But that's not always, again, Nintendo doesn't aim to do the competitive nature that PC, Xbox, and PlayStation do. Nintendo does your general audience, family stuff. That's what I give Nintendo, and that's why when I kind of look at them, I don't ever hate Nintendo. They're off in their own corner, doing their business. While
they're not trying to compete for graphics. They want experiences and kind of like fun little gameplay things, you know?
Sorry, I had the intrusive thought of I've been like shorts right now, and I was looking at my legs, and these walks that I have been doing, my legs be getting chunky.
Oh, you getting the muscle thick?
Dude, I'm trying. Like, the ass is the only thing that has to catch up. Cause like
We'll keep you updated here on the podcast how that goes.
The day when I become a power bottom. I'm gonna have to censor that. But
I was like, okay, we leave that in.
But no, if I'm gonna speak though, like, I think, yeah, late PlayStation 2 and early PlayStation 3, when there were all these experimental games and studios were just trying to experiment, have fun. Nowadays, you don't get that, and studios.
That's why I like Dreamcast. Like, dead ass. It's like this old era of, like, before your Call of Duties and your war games, you could have a game of just a taxi driving people around. And just, that's the whole game. There's no, maybe there's 2 or 3 levels, but that's the whole game. That's the fun. You lose time just getting lost in this fun little game. And then you'd have a game where it kind of had a story, but it was mostly about the gameplay. Like, gameplay was always at the forefront on Dreamcast, at least. And not just Dreamcast, I'd argue some PS2 games did the same thing, but there was this weird era in my, like, early teens where everything just had to be so hyper-realistic, so gritty, so, you know, oh, war never changes, and it's just like, what happened to the fun, goofy games? I guess Nintendo, they kept that going. And I'd argue they're still doing that today. But once Sega went down for a bit, like, gosh, things were pretty serious for a while. There's no more arcadey kind of, you know, ports. We still have that now with, like, the indie market on Steam and heck, itch.io, I almost said ditch, and other sites like that where you can still play a bunch of those cool, wacky games. But in terms of AAA titles, like, it just felt like a drought for a while.
You know who was kind of a mascot that kind of died a little bit, and then, like, for some reason had a very good cult following?
Who's that?
Like, next to KO, you have Klonoa.
Oh my god, I loved Klonoa.
And
I was a huge Sony guy myself, by the way. I owned every iteration of the PSP.
oh my
the
god.
PS Vita, I had that. And yeah, obviously PS1, PS2, PS3. I didn't get PS4 though. I didn't have money at the time.
Dude, speaking on Sony.
Uh-oh. Here we go. The Sony rant.
Here's the thing. And I'll be blunt. This is just like with my phone. Why do I use PlayStation still? I have so many games bought on the PlayStation Store. I am so deeply engrossed into Sony's exclusives with all the anime games and many of their IPs. But Sony now has had their quality diminishing so fast. And it was because of something that a friend sent me. I'm going to pull it up right now just to have it verbatim. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Let me see. So it says, Japan gamers ditch Sony PlayStation 5 for Xbox and Switch as Sony's quality and price control are going through the roof. So essentially what that's saying is a lot of PlayStation 5s have caught on fire. A lot of them are lagging out. But here's the problem that I'm having with this. The PlayStations that are out right now for the PlayStation 5 are the very first versions of a console. And Sony, I'll get to the pricing thing in a second. Sony is not the only company that's had bad stuff. You've had early Xbox 360s that got the yellow ring of death. You have the Switch with the Joy-Cons that had absolutely
drifting.
Yeah. And now you have PlayStation 5s catching on fire because clearly they don't have enough cooling for a console that's, you know, the size of a server tower. So
I think they also probably like rushed production. So they probably didn't yeah, they could cut corners. I'm sure
because they probably are doing stupid stuff. Again, the whole point of when your competitor, Microsoft, is putting out a new console, Xbox, at a specific time of year, which I believe it was out during the holiday season last year or year before.
Yeah. God, it was like September, October, I think.
Yeah, they released the trailer, and I'm like, this is... I was hyped with the design minus it being white. But, you know, I think design-wise, it looks great. But it doesn't say PlayStation to me. PlayStation's always had this minimal look. It's always been black. Except the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 1 was gray. And I don't know. I always thought Sony was fairly good. You know, they've had their leaks here and there of, you know, hackers and stuff, but Nintendo's kind of had that before. Microsoft's had that before. No company's, you know, no company is scot-free. But yeah, these first issues of PlayStation 5s are, not hitting the vibe check. And then the second
You're not
thing,
taking the risk on a PS5 this go around, are you?
not until they get better, and also not until Sony stopped price gouging people.
Oh,
Because
for real, I'm tired of it.
recently, Sony has PlayStation Plus, and one of the other subscriptions that you could get was PlayStation Now, which would allow you to play a bunch of old classic PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 games on the PlayStation 4. I'm not paying. Here's the thing. I'm not paying $25 a month for 3 months, on top of paying for a PlayStation Now subscription, which I believe is monthly or annually. On top of paying for a Final Fantasy XIV subscription and Spotify.
Fuck that.
I'll pay for PSN. I'll pay for Final Fantasy. I'll pay for Spotify. But with Sony now, and here's the I'm trying not to swear. Here's the crappy thing they did. They combined PlayStation Now with PlayStation Plus, and they tried to really push you to go for the 2 higher tiers to get more stuff, and I'm like, no, this isn't.
Oh, like they'll have the middle tier only to exist to entice you to get the highest tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking.
So, yeah, no, I'm good, but besides that, I still think Sony will get, like every company, they'll eventually get that slap on the wrist. They'll go back to, not breaking the rules for a while, then they'll get all cocky and try to do stuff out of their range again, get the slap again. It's a repeating cycle. But yeah, I don't think I would take away my joy with the PlayStation 2 and 3. I wish the PlayStation 4 shaped me more, and I think it did. It definitely made me more critical of games after, especially the trash nonsense of a certain gacha game. I'm not gonna mention the name because I don't want people to kill me. But now
exactly what you're talking about.
But now that gacha game has faded from existence for me, and now I am absorbed in the MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with a free trial up to level 60 and the award-winning expansion Heavensward. Sponsor me, Square.
We know you're watching.
I hope.
I mean, wow. Speaking of memories, probably not. I feel like you've talked about this before, but do you have any memories of going to a rental store, or maybe like Toys R Us, something like that? Maybe, oh gosh, Toys R Us. What about Kmart? Something like that, where it's like this nostalgic feeling of going somewhere and getting games, or getting to try games that you didn't have yet.
This is gonna make you very sad. By the time I could start getting games, Blockbuster's closed.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, though. It was like the 2000s when they started shutting down, I think.
Yeah, we had a Blockbuster, but we only rented movies from it. And my dad was also the dude of back then, oh my god, back in the day, PlayStation games were only $20.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, so PlayStation games are only like $25, and my dad was like, well, if you don't like it, at least you have a game to play that you can always try to figure out how to beat later. Like, I remember my dad sometimes would buy games for himself that he never figured out, but and he bought himself the Ace Combat game. I think it was like Ace Combat 07, and he couldn't figure out how to do it yet. I figured out how to play a fighter jet game like that.
Look at you. My dad also had it's funny that our dads had flight simulator games. Mine was a little helicopter game, and it was basically a bullet hell. He hated it, but I loved it. I got really good at that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it for the life of me.
And then, yeah, so I never had rental stuff. Yeah, no, never. Actually, the only game I can think that I rented was a SSX Tricky game, but...
Oh, I love that one.
But I think that was it.
Wow. I feel like my memories are the same as a lot of people's. And that's that Blockbuster had a certain smell to it, a certain vibe. You'd walk in, it felt like a big event. You'd probably spend like an hour there just trying to make sure what you got counted, because if I recall, you either could get 2 movies or 1 game, or a movie and a game. It was basically 2. And my mom would get a movie or whatever, but I'd get the game, or I could get a movie. And if the game sucked, sometimes I'd be sitting there like, man, I wish I got Land Before Time. This game sucked. You just had to play it anyway. But that was kind of the fun of it. It's like, it was a gamble. You got to try a game that, you didn't really have to have too much commitment to. You still had your games. I feel like the art of demos is dying today. It's just, have blind faith and pay $80. I hate that.
Yeah, we talked about this in the 2000s thing, but back in the day, for anyone who didn't get to enjoy these, and they were even very rare when I was playing games, was demo discs.
Yes, Jam Pack.
Yeah, I got them with like Medieval. I got it with Spyro, Ratchet, Jack 1. It was cool, and that's actually how I found out about a lot of them. But I truly sucked at games, and I didn't have a memory card for like the first 3 months that I had my PlayStation 2. So I would, just constantly play the same part over and over again. And then one day, my dad came home with what was big at the time, like a what was it, like a 2 gig memory card, and
ooh,
and it could like hold all my stuff. And I miss those when you could look inside your memory card and see all the little icon, like 3D icons for the games that would have
the little like animations they'd have.
Mm-hmm. By the way,
Dreamcast had that too, I think, although they weren't animated.
I know this isn't the 2000s episode, but I did just send you something on Discord that might make you feel old.
Oh my god. Wow. It says, you may be this old. You may be old, but are you this old? And it's just the Windows XP login screen.
Oh. And now I got Windows 11.
Did you know that 2012 was a decade ago?
Did you know
Is that fucking crazy?
Well, you also, do you know that, did you know that, what is it? 2040 is closer than, 2000?
Oh! No! Oh my god. I'm 100%. And, it hasn't hit me yet, but it's starting to. There's going to be a point where the time that I grew up in is going to be considered nostalgic and like oldies. Let me drive my fucking car and I'll hear freaking Kesha. Wow, the oldie station. Remember that banger?
Ricky, my car...
It was lit.
My car from 2004 already legally counts as an antique car.
Oh, not when you get that Mustang, though.
Oh, to get my fucking Dodge.
Yeah, the Challenger, sorry.
Mustang actually was the... Here's the thing. Out of my developmental childhood, the Mustang was the car I loved the most because one of my friends had one. Like his brother had it, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Then I saw Transformers, and I saw Bumblebee as the new Camaro the year... Because that Transformers movie came out the year that the new Camaro came out. That was kind of like how they showed it off. And then as I got probably into 2019, and I had a job and everything, not that I think I was going to be able to get a freaking car from having a job at a movie theater, but I was looking at cars, and the Dodge Challenger, oh, gorgeous. Yeah.
Bruh, I don't even know what car I'd get if I could get one.
Well, well, here's the thing. Do you ever see yourself ever needing a truck?
No, but there's some kind of feeling as a guy that you get when you're in a fucking truck. And I can't describe it, and it's only when you're in a truck. The elevation off the ground, you're looking around over everything. It really is kind of an empowering feeling.
Your bulge swells to like 3 times its size.
Yeah, I become a hyper. No, but like, I don't know. I get it. I get why people buy trucks. But maybe I would. Maybe a little like oh god, I'm trying to think what my boyfriend's old truck was. I can't for the life of me think of it, but it was a smaller truck.
He probably just had like an old Ford.
Yeah, some kind of Ford.
I could see you probably driving like
maybe even a Jeep.
I can see you driving like a Toyota Tacoma.
Oh, I'd rock a Tacoma. I'm not gonna lie.
I drive a 2004 Jeep Liberty, and
Jeep's not bad.
it's counted as it's classified as a compact SUV. I love it. I am, knock on wood, so happy that thing has been through a few accidents, but more damage has happened to the drunk drivers that have hit me than my car ever's dealt. That's what happens when you have
hurt them worse than they hurt you.
Well, that's what happens when you have plastic bumpers that are made for crashes.
Oh, okay.
So, yay for Jeep making that. Wasn't like something else like Vicarious Gaming for one of the sections?
Vicarious. What? You throw me off the word vicarious.
Vicarious means, so for anyone who doesn't know what the word vicarious means, vicariously doing something is enjoying something through someone else's life or way or eyes. So it's like, for me, I did not own Super Smash Bros. Brawl when it was new, but I got to play it whenever I was at Christian's house.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't know if it is one of them. I don't think so, but I'm okay with adding it either way. But I totally had that friend that had Nintendo when I was a Sony guy. And so because of that, I played a lot of Nintendo to the point where, like, oh, Super Smash Brothers. Oh, yeah, I played the heck out of that. Or Star Fox Assault. The GameCube. Because my friend loved the GameCube. He had the Wii and GameCube. And, like, a ton of Super Nintendo and Nintendo games. And I think even N64. All the fucking decades. I'm assuming his parents just kept all the consoles that they had, which then hand me down to them. You know how the tree works, but
yeah,
I totally would have never gotten to retro gaming if it weren't for that friend.
I can't count anything I play as retro, because anything that I say is retro is no older than Mario 64.
Right.
So I didn't really have retro. I just had the mid-90s breaking into modern day.
That's so crazy to me. Like, wow. I was lucky, I guess. For me, I feel like a lot of people might not be into Nintendo games, but you know, NES. My dad had a friend who was just like, "Hey, you want to play with this console?" And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" "Oh, it's a Nintendo." I'm like, "Oh, this looks nothing like a PS1 that I know of. I'm only 6, you know."
Yeah.
And so I started playing like these old like 80s games. I'm like, wow, these are pretty fun. Why don't I have this console? Because like, as a kid, you don't understand like this console came out years ago, or this one's the newest and greatest one. Like, you just knew that, oh, that's my PlayStation. And that was it. You know, you'd go to the rental store and be like, oh, I'm gonna get this game. Oh, it won't run on your system. Well, why not? You know?
Yeah.
Brand loyalty wasn't really a thing. But you know, I'd say because of that, my dad's friend letting me just borrow that. Like, I got into retro games. Otherwise, I'd probably be in the same boat, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I only knew whatever my console made, Sony or whether it be Super Nintendo. So living vicariously, yeah, that was a huge part of my childhood. Was there a friend of yours who maybe had a console that you wish you had?
I mean, I don't think really ever any consoles I want, but playing some games
Maybe
that
games?
Yeah, definitely games, like trying out the Halo series was primarily the only thing, because for the most part, yeah, Xbox and PlayStation have their exclusives big time, but Halo is like Xbox's turbulent money child, where some of the games are good, some of the games are bad, but either way they're making money. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else. Like, honestly, again, I've been spoiled most of my life, so I've had all the consoles and games and stuff I want.
I didn't get an Xbox, and I didn't get a Dreamcast. My neighbor had a Dreamcast. That's probably why I'm diving so deep into playing them on stream lately. I
Yeah.
play them off stream too. I actually have one in real life, physically. But
as
I lived
KO.
vicariously through that. I was like, man, I wish I was those kids. Oh wait, I can just buy it now. Wait, what?
Yeah, and then you have Ricky having to save state playing KO because the game is freaking busted.
Oh, to think I was gonna get a disc of that in real life. I would never touch it because I would never be able to get past the first level without the save states. It's so hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And imagine like not having that starting all the way over from the beginning on that spiked log rolling section with the inverted controls.
Because I'm saving a lot, you never see this, but if I lost all my lives, not only does it start you over, but it takes you all the way back to the start menu. You have to reload your file and wait longer for that to load, and then you're back in the game. Why? There's no point for that other than fuck you, play again.
Yeah.
Load it up again.
Trying to think. I don't think there's anything else. I had a good plethora of video games, and I remember back when I was younger, I would still sift through, like I would play through like MX Unleashed, Crash and Burn on the PlayStation 2, the original like versions of Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and Sly Cooper before they were HDified.
Man, I love Jak and Daxter.
You know what's really weird though to look at?
What?
A lot of the old PlayStation 2 versions only being meant for the 4:3 aspect ratio, and then the HD ones having the 16:9?
It's just huge. By the time you end up playing the remaster, you're like, whoa, when did this game get so big?
It's also funny to like, I will say that the HD remakes took away some of the difficulty of the tunnel vision that came with the 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah, as well as the CRT screens would smooth out the graphics if they looked rough.
Yeah.
Well, that's an issue with we talked briefly about retro gaming. Playing them on these pixel perfect screens, like, oh yeah, it's very clear and you can see, but
you're gonna
back in the day, they didn't want you to see that back in the day. They didn't want you to see how square and pixely it was. The TV was supposed to blur it a bit and kind of make it look like it all melted into one.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, it just transitioned better, I suppose is the words I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, like if you play original Final Fantasy VII on a flat screen TV nowadays, it actually looks more pixeled than it does on an old CRT TV.
I believe it, 100%.
If you don't know what the CRT TV is, it is the TVs that back in the day, if you ran your hand across it, you'd get static electricity building up on your hand.
Yeah. And they weighed like a ton 90% of the time. They were heavy.
Yeah, back in my day, TVs weren't flat. You had a giant box on the back of it.
Yeah, a tube in that bitch.
But, yeah, I think that's all I can think of when it comes to that stuff. Because I didn't have renting life, and I didn't have a lot of, like, vicarious games. Like, it was very few. Because I was, again, I had a freaking hard-on for Sony, so...
I promise here, once I beat KO, I'm actually going to start a new game of Jet Set Radio and some good games for you to see what good games look like on the console.
I mean, objectively, KO is only, like, wonky because it's the company's first game. But, if you were to play KO 2 on stream, I'm sure you'd have an enjoyable time with that while still having some challenge.
Oh, sure. I think I have KO 2 on, Steam.
Sequel.
Maybe, hell. That might be fun. Alright, what else we got here? What console was our favorite in middle school and or our teen years? Ooh.
PS3.
I agree. I mean, might as well call this the Sony boys at this point. But I think Xbox 360 would also be a decent answer if I wasn't biased. That was a good era just for gaming in general. I played a lot of Saints Row 2. I know we were talking about that off off the podcast, but Saints Row 2, just really solid game. Because there was a period there where GTA 4 had been out for a while and we were just craving new games, and here comes this company with SR2.
You know I feel like by purist of Saints Row, I get yelled at for this, but I don't really care.
What?
You almost wish this was the outcome. You almost wish Saints Row 2's timeline could have been like serious. And then you almost wish that Volition could have made a spin-off series that could have been like Saints Row 3 and all the wackiness. Because
Oh, you're saying keep the same vein of 2 for 3. I kind of agree.
because like here's the thing.
Because 3 went so wonky so quick.
I love 3. I love 3 for what it is. But if you had someone play Saints Row 2 and then play Saints Row 3, or since Saints Row 3 was more marketed than Saints Row 2, and someone went from 3 went back to 2, that's like
I know people that was their first fucking Saints Row game. They're like, oh, these games are just crazy. I'm like, no, this is weird. Like, it's fun, but it's weird.
Well, it's like, what was it? It was like, that's like the juxtaposition of Jak and Daxter going from family-friendly platformer to GTA and guns.
Yeah.
So, Saints Row 3 is a good game. But if you're expecting it to be the Oscar-nominating, winning type of dark storytelling that 2 was, and 2 is dark, you're not going to get that. Same with number 4 for Saints Row. Same with Gat Out of Hell, you're not going to get that. And even the Saints Row reboot, not going to get it.
Is the reboot just goofy too?
I'll give a plot synopsis, so spoilers. Okay. Every single member of like the boss's team is members from different groups. So you have Eli, who's like the new Pierce. You have God, what's her? I can't remember her name. But you have
Gandhi?
Shandi, but I can't remember the name of the girl in
New character.
But the new girl in that kind of replaces Shandi, and then character named Kevin replaces Johnny. All, you know, besides Nina was her name. Nina is Hispanic versus Shandi being white. But it's like Eli's black, fits the same thing of Pierce. Kevin's Asian, fits the same thing of Johnny Gat. And it's okay, but yeah, it's literally just a story about friends who come together in private from 4 different, like, all 4 different gangs are basically fed up that every member of like the team almost gets killed, so they end up being like, screw it, we're gonna make the 3rd Street Saints. They do. They, you know, fuck around and find out. But a few bad things happen to them. The boss gets buried alive. Breaks out. Fights the final baddie. And that's essentially it. It's not an overly complex story, and by far, my god, Volation, this is the shortest Saints Row game I've ever played. If you played it all day, you could probably beat it in a day or 2. Compared to Saints Row 2 and 3, that would at least take you a week. So, I'm disappointed by the length. I don't think it should have been $60.
That's what's stopping me is the price. Especially if you're saying it's a shorter game.
It is probably, and I'm being completely honest, a 20-hour experience for $60. Versus something like God of War or the old Saints Row games, or a lot of like starting PlayStation 4 games that, you know, are like days and days of content. So it's disappointing in that aspect. Do I think it's the like scum of the earth kind of game? No, it's still grounded in reality. But there is still that Saints Row 3 goofiness. Not as much, but when it's there, it's there. But yeah, I would say PS3 has my favorite thing: the Assassin's Creed series, the Infamous series, the Ratchet and Clank Future series. I really wish I could say that Spyro the Dragon's Hero Chronicles was on PlayStation 3, but no, that was 2.
Oh.
Let me think. What else did I play early on PS3? some of the Dragon Ball Z games. PlayStation is really big and into Bandai Namco in their anime games. Dark Souls, though I didn't start playing Dark Souls till, honestly, I did my 5 years of PC gaming for YouTube. So yeah.
An old YouTube saga.
God, I miss it. I'll say this again, and there is gonna be, by the way, a montage of the Middleton Nighttime broadcast of any time Ricky and I are being stupid, as well as we have bloopers you guys don't get to see.
It's just every episode. It's every episode in a compilation, if that's the case.
Oh my god, that would be 12 hours of content.
Truly could sleep a whole 12 hours to this podcast.
No, I don't want to hear. I don't want to be in people's minds when they're sleeping. Be like that SpongeBob episode where he invaded people's dreams.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Ooh, what was it? Like subconscious hypnosis. But yeah, I think that's I think that's my favorite console. Though one that did leave a big impression on me was the Wii, for like all the not dark, but like the Dark Age Sonic games like Secret Rings, Black Knight. Technically, I guess Colors, though Colors was like coming out of that and going into the Generations saga. Yeah, like Colors.
This was a really good game.
Colors, Generations, Frontier. No. Forces, Frontier. I guess I could ask you, Ricky, since honestly I haven't ever really bugged you a lot on your PlayStation days. For the PlayStation 3, did you play a considerable amount of games for 3?
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, I played more on 2, but 3's games were more expensive.
Oh yeah.
Is the only reason. I was I was addicted a lot to Little Big Planet. 1, 2, those two are my favorite. 1 and 2. I'm trying to, hold on, let me take a little peek over here, hold on. Oh my god, BioShock, Resident Evil 6, Just Cause 2, Grand Theft Auto 4, Saints Row 2, Last of Us, Saints Row 3. What else do we have? Legend, holy shit, I forgot about that one.
Brutal Legend, oh wow.
The other ones I don't want to mention because it's like Skylanders and like iPet Toy where there's this freaking monkey you take care of with the little camera.
Got Skyrim, got Oblivion.
See, admittedly, I never played any Skyrim or Oblivion game ever. I don't know how.
It's a certain taste because they're very.
I would, because I've now recently played Fallout 3. I played 4. I played New Vegas, which is the best one. Hell, I even played the online MMO, which kind of sucks. So I know I like the gameplay. I know it's more fantasy based. I've seen my boyfriend play a bit of it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that on stream one day.
That would be fun, as well as like. I think if you and him ever did honestly, if it was just you two playing the Borderlands series, I think that would be really fun to watch on stream. Because I'm going to tell you all, I don't know what happens, and I remember this being a thing back in the day. When you hit a recording button, whether that's for live streaming or let's playing / walkthroughs, the most wild stuff always happens in recordings.
Yes.
Always. It is like the weirdest crap in the world, and it always happens. But, yeah.
There was some fucking moment last stream that happened that was like, I couldn't believe my eyes that it happened on stream. I think it was episode 2 of KO. I'm just trying to think what happened.
Yeah, because I was
some kind of jump or something. Like it was a 1 in a million little chance that I would have landed or something like that. And I was just, oh my god, like it blew my mind. I was like, this never would have happened.
I still like when you accidentally engage turbo mode.
Yeah. And then I couldn't turn it off. I had to unplug the controller. It was just stuck.
Well, it's like, if you watch your reaction, you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? Holy shit, I'm not doing this on purpose! And since I'm gonna be there for this, it's gonna be double the panic. But, you know, I guess, you know what? I'm gonna add one last section to this podcast.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you think you'd be at the same place you are now if you did not play any of the games that you played?
I don't think my humor would be. No. Specifically that. A lot of my cynical sarcasticness, it comes from GTA, it comes from Saints Row, it comes from I liked a little Jackie Dexter growing up, so I had my edgy side too. There's a lot of games that I could go on and list. Little Big Planet encouraged my creativity. If we want to talk on PS2, like Star Wars Battlefront really got me into Star Wars. I started watching the movies when I was a kid, when normally I wouldn't have done it either way. So yeah, probably to a degree. I'd say a good chunk. That's our formative years, right? So,
yeah.
Even though like we're just having some downtime, some games, I would say yeah, leaves a good impact. Oh, these are adorable.
Yeah, I think ultimately, if I didn't play a lot of the like young platformers and I wasn't exposed to seeing how worlds could do stuff, and honestly, I don't think I would have become an artist either if I didn't play a lot of the games that I played, because a lot of the characters in video games that I play shaped the characters that I have drawn and made, and I don't think they would have been birthed if I didn't play what I played.
I'd say creatively too, like there's a lot of games I played as a kid. Obviously I watched a lot of Looney Tunes, that's a big chunk of it, but the reason why I have a persona is because I like Daxter, I like the colors, and I played all the games with mascots and platformers like Sonic and shit. That definitely would not exist.
Yeah.
In my life, if I didn't play those games.
I think games were also a shelter for me. Because, your boy before middle school and high school, when he started literally breaking people's noses. True.
Sheesh.
True thing.
I'm still recovering. Thank you for that.
But no, when I started beating people up who tried to screw around with me, people started leaving me alone in high school.
They usually do when you don't back down.
Well, when you make one kid in middle school throw up all over the gymnasium floor for trying to punch you in the face, that's one thing. When you break another kid's nose for trying to hit one of your friends, you know how I broke his nose?
How?
I was behind him, reached over his head, put my 2 fingers in his nostrils, and ripped back.
Oh my god.
And it, trigger warning, ripped the front of his nasal.
Oh my, Jake, what did he say?
Called my friend an F-slur, punched him once, when he had his wisdom teeth already taken out and went to school. And so I was like, okay, I've had enough of you. So I reached over his head, pulled back, and yeah. And the school technically wrote it off as self-defense because he initiated the punch.
Wow, good on you though. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't know all that going in. That makes more sense. Like,
that's where my fear of blood though came from.
Oh, the nose bleeds so much.
People wouldn't think that, but since your nose is just cartilage, which is basically tissue, blood's just gonna seep through it.
Yes.
But yeah. I had my escape of playing video games, and I didn't have many friends in high school.
Hold on. Before this thought loses my mind because of ADHD, did you play PlayStation Home? Do you remember that game?
Oh my god, that freaking Second Life. Yes.
I remember playing that a lot and meeting some friends on them. That was crazy. Sorry, I just was like, oh my god, PlayStation Home existed.
I got something to talk to you about that after this is over. Because I can't play music on here. But I didn't have a lot of friends growing up, besides my friend Rourke, who we're now no longer hanging out, and then my friend Abby, who we still hang out. I did YouTube to learn how to video edit and to preoccupy my time when I was depressed. So I played video games, video edited, did YouTube, and it kept me from doing bad things. So I thank video games so much for that.
Thank you, video games. And if you're watching this podcast, please give us a like, subscribe, video games. We're a big fan of you.
Please call me, come up to the DMV, and like suck my
Why
dick.
is he at the DMV?
I don't know. For anyone who doesn't know, by the way, I'm not talking about the Department of Motor Vehicles. I'm talking about DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Oh, I was like, why?
I need to
Why would you invite someone to the DMV?
I need to stop using local terminology when it comes to broadband things, because that doesn't work.
Oh my gosh.
That's like people in LA saying the 405. Is the 405, is that a club? No, it's Interstate 405.
Hey, baby girl, why don't you meet me down at the DMV?
My god. Oh my god. She meets you behind the DMV, and you just, like, people who are walking up to the DMV at night or in the morning just hear...
Grapefruit.
Ugh. Holy crap, how we've already been going for an hour.
Holy. Wow. You see what happens when I host?
Things go by fast. Things finish fast, just like Ricky in bed.
I mean,
I don't know if that's true.
we are naked recording this podcast, so I guess everything's just out there now, huh?
Wait, I hope people can hear this.
Oh. Oh.
If someone's going that fast, you're gonna get like friction burn on your cheeks. Ooh, did you actually hear about the guy that gave his girlfriend friction burn inside of her because he didn't use enough?
Oh, God.
I'm like, oh my god.
No.
And you know what the bad thing was?
What?
It scabbed inside her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
People, make sure to take proper care when
Pussy ulcers. Oh. Oh. No. Vagina road burn.
Oh! Figuratively and literally. Ah!
It's like doing a power slide in your parents' bedroom with their fucking shag rug carpet. Oh my god.
Boy, you better make sure your boyfriend uses enough lubricant. Your asshole's gonna look like a cracked Sahara Desert lake.
You know, if I'm lucky, it will. It will.
Oh god, that's the highlight of this podcast. That's the highlight.
Oh my god. Unfortunately, yes.
Oh god, I'm crying. I haven't cried like this since Abby and I once did a try not to sing. It was a try not to sing challenge on YouTube, but you also couldn't dance, smile. You basically weren't supposed to react. And we did punk pop, and there were two songs that made us lose. I lost on not Bohemian Rhapsody. I wish they made that song, but no, I lost at My Chemical Romance's Welcome to the Black Parade, and Abby lost to 21 Guns. So
121.
that song's amazing. But I guess what I'll do is, since we're virtually inside of our wrap up,
Yeah, basically.
it's funny. You probably had this sort of adjustment too, Ricky. But
Vagina road burns, or
you might. I mean, you're on the bisexual spectrum.
my own vagina has road burns.
When did you get that surgery?
It's always been there.
Damn.
Are you telling me? Wait, you don't have one?
No. Mine's kind of like sewn together and like looks like
I thought this was normal.
Mine looks like sashimi between the middle of my legs. I don't know. I don't want to know what it. I don't want to know what a fucking taint looks like.
Here's one on the screen right now. All right, great.
You want? I have, and I swear to God. Do you want to know what the next episode is about?
What?
YouTube.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure you already know what I want to talk about. Let's just say it involves anything that any YouTubers talked about with Corey X Kenshin.
Corey X Kenshin.
I'll explain to you the story after the stream.
Yeah.
But believe me, I have a lot to say for the next episode, and there's a big reason why I'm going to be leading the next episode, because no. It's gonna be very discussion heavy between both you and I.
Last time we talked briefly about Shane Dawson and what was the other one? The one you miss. Justine, I think.
Oh, Jenna Marbles?
Jenna Marbles, sorry, I get the two mixed up sometimes.
I love
but
Justine.
How we didn't go in depth and how we should, or I guess how we should have went more in depth. And at the end of the day, if you want to know about a lot of this drama stuff, it is on YouTube. Like, why would we waste your time with that? Like,
plus, also, we're not jumped up on the facts. And Sally, if you are going to be talking smack on YouTube, you can't have any of your crap wrong, or you're going to have an angry mob on your cheeks.
That's exactly why we don't go too in depth about it. Because once you do, it's going to be like, well, you missed this part, and you missed this, and this is a horrible video because you put this before this. And it's like, all right, well then, go watch a video where someone does it better.
Yeah. Oh my God! You know what I love?
I get a lot of.
You know what I love the discussion of, since this is games?
Oh, what's that?
Man, I freaking hate this game. Well, then stop playing it. Easy as that.
Yeah.
It's also the people. Yeah. It's also the people that go like, man, I don't like games anymore. It's like, okay, what games do you play? I play Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite. Okay, good. So you play literally all the same type of game, just with a different skin on it. Maybe go play some hack and slash.
I have friends like that, or I had a friend like that. I cut them off, but they would only play shooters. Like you said, Call of Duty, that Chernobyl game. I forget what it's called.
By the way,
but
this isn't me.
Tom Clancy, whatever the heck. And if you like those games, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But you can't sit there and be like, "There's no good games." I'm like, "Have you tried a platformer? What's that?"
Yeah, it's like, have you tried a platformer? Have you tried a hack and slash like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry? Right. Have you tried
maybe a puzzle game?
JRPGs?
Oh, JRPGs, yes.
Freaking play Portal for all I care.
Portal's a good like introduction point, I think, for people that love shooters to like
play
a game that isn't a shooter.
Yeah, play a puzzle game. Play Portal. Play Portal 2.
Great games.
Yes.
I love them.
If you love satire, you're gonna love Portal.
Someone playing Call of Duty right now, listening to this on their phone, they're like, you know what? They put down the controller. I think I will.
Hey, my thing is I never josh people who play Call of Duty, because I no matter what multiplayer lobby you're in, if you're in a lobby, someone's talking smack, someone's balls are just getting clenched and they're having a bad day, or they're just always angry. Luckily, with me playing on 14, most of the time if I'm talking to people, I'm talking to like my friends on Discord, and usually we're playing together. And 14 is not as innocent as it likes to come out. It's still a great series, but I've had toxic people in 14. Few and far between, mind you. But not...
I didn't know it had voice chat.
It doesn't.
I've had toxic people over text.
Yeah, over the chat. And here's the bad thing. Wow. If you ever watch a Final Fantasy 14 YouTuber, they always have a picture in the bottom left. Because
they're covering chat.
Yeah, because people will say some pretty like bad things, and I think it was that what was it? It was Asmongold, and I think he was either playing WoW or 14, and someone got the N-word past the censor system by doing N.I.G. and so on.
You get the picture.
And he got banned from Twitch for like a week because of it. So Final Fantasy people will put pictures over their chat, and like the in-game chat, and they will.
That makes so much. You just blew my mind. I was watching Temmie. I watch her stream sometimes. She was playing what was it, 14? There's 15. Which one's the online one?
14.
I just said it. 14. That's what I thought. She was playing 14, and there's a picture of herself holding like a little chibi version of herself, but she was like in Final Fantasy getup, and I was like, oh, that's cute and all, but why is that there? Maybe that's their placeholder for a PNG tuber. And then to the bottom right was the PNG tuber, so I'm like, huh, that's random. I guess they're just showing it off. But then it just dawned on me, I bet the chat was behind that the whole time. Makes a lot more sense now why that was just there the whole video.
Trust me, if I ever streamed 14, my first thing would be to hide that chat, because some people are petty.
Yeah.
So
I played League of Legends a couple times. I know that for sure.
But yeah, listen, will we ever try to maybe talk about some serious stuff on this podcast? I definitely want to talk about ADHD. My only thing that I'm so scared about when talking about ADHD is people self-diagnosing themselves, because that is a terrible problem with some of the LA YouTubers who are like, here's the thing. Los Angeles, Hollywood, YouTube is a completely different space than every other content creator making YouTube in the United States or the world. So if Ricky and I ever talked about this, I'd love to talk about ADHD. I wouldn't want to always talk about the bad stuff, but I'd love to talk about ADHD and how both of us, in our interpersonal experiences and our very specific ways that disorder affects us, to us, because a disorder is going to be different to every person. So, big disclaimer, my ADHD is not the same as Ricky's, and his is not the same as mine.
No, not at all. Mine is mine's more memory based, in my opinion. I mean, there's moments where I'm like, "Ah!" But I do it as a joke. Like, I'd rather be calm. Unless I'm playing KO the Kangaroo. That's all genuine. That brings out a demon in me that I did not know exists. But for the most part, it's not so much like I'm going wild, you know? What's yours like?
Again, I say this all the time. I'm an internet browser. Many tabs open. A lot of them are glitching. Most of them are frozen. One's playing music that I have no idea where it's coming from. So I have a lot of voices in my head.
Do you have the one that talks to you as if it's a second person? Like, you should go clean that.
Yeah.
No, I cleaned it yesterday. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where'd
you come from?
I have a narrator in my head. He
Shake walked into the kitchen and made some eggs. Eggs sounds good.
I literally have, what is that game called? What is that?
Stanley Parable.
Yeah, it's fucking and I hate it. Also,
Jake decided to get the orange juice and not the Dr. Pepper. Alright, fuck you, I'm getting the Dr. Pepper.
By the way, you know what's something I learned a few days ago about one of my friends who has ADHD, and it helps them get rid of their tinnitus?
Oh, you talking about like playing a continuous noise like a fan or something?
No. So what you do is we obviously can't do it right now because Ricky and I have headphones on, but what you want to do is you want to take your hands with the bottom of your palms facing the front of your head, so your fingers go to the back of your head. Then on the squishy back part of your head, tap it for a while, and eventually you'll get a harmonics in your head that kills tinnitus for a little bit.
Wow, okay.
So,
that's a good tip.
But ADHD for me is this is a horrible thing to compare it to, but I'm like the dogs in Up, where it's like, squirrel, what? All the time. I friggin' hate it. I'm also, I don't know if this is an ADHD thing, but if I see shiny stuff, or if I also don't get enough sleep, I see visual hallucinations. That's not an ADHD thing. That's just my mental health.
Yeah, interesting. God dang. A little concerned. I'm trying to think if there's like a weird thing that I have. I used to get slight hallucinations, but I was on a lot of like ADHD meds back in the day. I don't anymore, but there are times where I think my anxiety stems from it. You just have too many thoughts at once, and you realize they're all things you can't control. And for a lot of people, it's like, oh, if you can't control them, then don't worry about it. You don't really think that kind of way when that happens.
What got rid of your I mean, I don't think it's, you know,
The logic turns off.
I don't think you've gotten rid of this. What happened to you now? Like, you don't seem to have those massive overload moments anymore.
You know, there's moments where my face gets red and it kind of turns into anxiety, but I don't know. Like, I don't know why it's not been as bad. I guess I just deal with it better. I have been eating a lot better and just
Taking care of yourself more.
I've been taking time. Yeah, past week, literally before bed. And this sounds probably normal and mundane to everyone else in the world, but I get off the internet and I just watch TV, and that's it. Like Pluto TV on my TV. That's it. I'll just watch a show. I won't even touch my phone.
That's like
I'll do that for about an hour, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm in real life.
That's like a form of touching grass.
Yeah, like you don't need to be that connected all the time. I think a lot of it is too. I'm just accepting that I can't really control a lot. It's not my burden, but there are times where obviously I can't control it, but I get mad because I can't control it, because you want to help your friends out, you want to fix everyone's lives, and you know, life can sometimes seem like a downer, but I feel like as long as you're supporting your friends, then they'll be happy.
Oh my god, I talked to Mega last night after everyone got off call, and Mega was curious about this, and we somehow stumbled onto this about how I was talking. And I was very honest with him about this, how I was pretty angry with him back when, you know, the pandemic started, and he wanted to see, you know, like, go out as normal. And he asked me why I was angry about it, and I said, because I believe this in my heart of hearts, that I think a lot of the sickness and everything with, you know, I'm trying not to say the thing so my video doesn't get flagged with that notice.
I know what you're talking about. The little germ.
Yeah, if
we're just gonna call it the germ.
I believe in my heart of hearts that if people stayed inside and really only went out when they absolutely needed to, I think at least in the United States would have been gone. But
yeah,
it didn't happen. We're in an endemic pandemic where COVID is, you know, I'm just going to say it. COVID's a threat still.
Yeah, we're just saying it now. Okay.
It's a threat. Is it as big of a threat when it was out?
No.
Here or there.
I guess it just depends.
But it's also like, now we have every other thing, because every person in the world now has TikTok and Twitter and YouTube, and it's quite literally impossible to avoid essentially looking at the world as a plague.
Or misinformation disguised as information.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I hate those.
Trying to think. We've had chickenpox. We've had smallpox, which, by the way, if you've had chickenpox before, make sure you've gone to your doctor and get a shingles vaccine. You do not want to have shingles. It hurts. But I was actually, the more recent thing I was scared of, since I'm not too scared of monkeypox, since, I don't like touching people. I was scared of polio, because New York City had polio recently. But I looked at my records. So they say, oh yeah, 3 shots of polio. That should be good enough for your entire life, right?
Is it not?
Bitch, I had 5. I had 5 polio.
Whoa!
I had 5 polio vaccines put in me. Of course,
you only need 1.
No, you need 3.
Oh. What'd you have 5?
I think at the time when I was growing up, polio was really bad in schools. So I had 1 week, 1 the week after, which, you know, protected me to be in, like, general life. Got 1 when I went into preschool, and then 2 through my kindergarten career. So, not kindergarten, what is it, elementary school? Yeah. So, I had 5, and I was like, well, knock on wood that I don't get polio from this. Also, can I just say, on a slightly funny topic, just talking about COVID.
Yeah.
When I got the booster shot, the first 2 shots didn't do anything to me. Like the ones I went to my mall for that they were doing in mass to like vaccinate us, those didn't hurt. When I tell you how much that booster shot said, "Hi Queen, I'm in your body, I'm here to wreck you." That Saturday was the freaking worst day of my life. I had a migraine, I had the chills, but I was also sweating. You know what's bad too? It was one of those chills where when you stay still, you don't get it, but the moment you move your leg, it's just like all the heat from your body flushed. And then the next day, woke up, it's like it didn't even happen. I was just like, it's like you're like a one-night stand that me raw dog and then left me. Like, damn. But honestly, if that was how bad COVID is as a shot, I don't want to know what it's like for people who didn't have a good immune system. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother stream if that was to ever happen. But whoo,
Yeah, we laugh and joke, but I feel bad for them.
I do too. And I've wanted to put my voice out in the atmosphere about COVID when it was a big thing, but there was too much misinformation, and I'm not smart enough to search up all that stuff. And then, you know, be able to pick and choose and cross-reference this fact, but it's like, okay, but what about this fact? You also need to cross-reference that and that. It's like, I didn't have time to do that on top of college. So I let the world fuck around and find out.
I mean, not much you really can do, though.
And also, I want to say this. You're not a hero if you get the vaccine, by the way. That's your independent choice. Just like how
people out here thinking they're heroes?
There are. And here's the thing.
What?
Whatever a person chooses, whether they choose to not get a vaccination or they do get a vaccination, it doesn't make them the villain or the hero. That's their independent choice, and they live with the choices that that decision makes. So, I'm going to be completely honest. Am I happy I got the vaccines? Yes. It allowed me to finish my college career, and it makes me, even if it's a placebo for all we know, it makes me feel safer.
You've done all you feel you could do to protect yourself.
Yeah, and
that's why you feel safer. And that's the same thing with people that don't want to get the vaccine. They feel safe not getting it because it's not in their body.
Yeah,
it's like reverse.
And if the thing is, if they can build a natural immunity to anything and it not take a big hit on their immune system, great. But there are just some people that can't do that. So that's why vaccines are made to, you know, water down the experience. So when it comes to, you know, people who don't want to get vaccinated, people who do want to get vaccinated, people who can't get vaccinated because they might be allergic to all the versions that are out there, it doesn't make you a hero. It doesn't make you a villain. People will reap what they sow for every decision that they make. And that was like the big thing, by the way, that made me get the Pfizer vaccine over the Johnson & Johnson was Johnson & Johnson was 1 shot versus Moderna and Pfizer, which were 2 shots. But Johnson & Johnson was giving people blood clots.
You see, I think I ended up with Moderna, I think it was. Because of that. I didn't want to risk it with Johnson & Johnson.
No, I didn't want to either, and I was scared too. Because, like, I'm 24. I was 23.
Damn.
I was 23 when I got... No, wait. Wait. No. I was 23 when I got the shots.
Oh. Okay.
Because it was I had to get because my college was starting up back in person. and I needed the 2 shots plus the booster shot. So did that. Wow, you want to pin me of ADHD brain? I just thought about tacos for a second and completely lost track of my thought. Oh my god.
Tacos sound really good by now.
I was thinking Taco Bell. I was literally thinking about the steak quesadillas from Taco Bell.
You should get some.
I already went out to eat today.
Oh, what'd you have?
I had that pizza.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about it.
We are showing the epitome of ADHD in this freaking. Oh my god! Not a stream. It's not a stream, Jake. It's not a stream.
Hey, chat. No.
Oh god! Do you know how bad the Middleton nighttime broadcast would be if it was a live stream?
Oh. Horrible.
There's a lot of things and there's a lot of things I edit. And if there was ever anything that Ricky and I feel like later we want to cut out, but you can't edit that out if you're well, that's not true actually, because you can go in the YouTube Creator Studio and actually cut out segments of already posted videos.
Yeah.
But you know, that's a lot of trouble, and if it's a live stream, well, you can't hide it. So yeah, but I don't know, Ricky, is there anything you want to say for the wrap up before we hit an hour 30?
You know, I don't think there is.
Wah! Well then, I guess Ricky and I,
We're gonna go to Taco Bell.
do you want to try to do the sign off?
Oh, I don't remember the sign off, or I would.
I can do it.
Hold on, what was it like?
It's just like telling people to, you know, subscribe. Okay. So everyone, we thank you for watching. We will be back with episode 6 that will be titled YouTube creator problems and the future that we would hope for YouTube. If you guys liked this episode, please, at the end of the video, I have an end card. Tap on Ricky's face, subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to mine as well, and hit the notification bell on both of our channels if you want to be notified about when we upload. And we'll see you guys in probably a month. We'll see you guys in about.
There's our outro.
We'll see you guys in about a month with the next episode of the Middleton Nighttime Podcast. Bye-bye, everyone.